Great, so we've got 4 legs, 2 side rails and a back rail. Now, in my actual model that we're building, we actually want the legs to be tapered, not just straight like these ones. So I could go and taper each leg individually. It's a little bit laborious. Or wouldn't it have been good if I'd have thought about that before I copied or mirrored all those legs? If I'd have done the original leg before I mirrored it, then they'd all be the same. I can actually do that. I can actually go back in time and do that. Here's my little time machine down here. This shows every action that I take. I'm going to move it back to just after I created that leg. Oh, leg's gone, so I've gone too far. There it is. So that's the extrusion on my leg. So it's very important that we do the right or the correct faces of the leg. I want to be looking at the back of the leg. So I'm going to turn it around like that. Now I'm looking at the back of the leg. I want to go into Modify, Draft. The plane that I select is this one, the top one. And the faces are that one and that one. The angle is 1.5. Oh, and I can see it flared at the bottom, which is the opposite of what I wanted. So I can either make it negative 1.5 or I can flip direction. There we go. Okay. Now, if you've made a mistake and you've done it the wrong way or the wrong plane, the wrong faces or anything like that, when you redo it, you just got to make sure that the angle is 0 before you select the faces. So this is looking pretty good. There's my leg. It's got a draft on it. I'm going to bring my time machine back to the present. And all those legs are now drafted. All right, we're going to look at it from different angles. We'll just get this down to perspective ortho faces. All right, so we want to make sure that our rails are horizontal. If you've done the wrong faces on your legs, then your rails won't be horizontal like this, and you need to address that now. From the side, that's looking good too. All right, there we are. We're going to carry on. Next, I'm going to do the front rails. So I'm going to select, make a new sketch on that face in there. And I'm going to get my rectangle tool, and I'm going to bring it so that it just, well, actually I can just do it over here until that black cross is until the black cross is a blue X like that. Click, drag, and it's going to be 19 tab 42, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to put in a dimension. Again, if you haven't got the dimension tool here, you've got to go down to dimension, click on those 3 dots, pin to toolbar. Get the dimension tool, put a dimension between here and that little point there, and make that 21. Just like so. So that's one rail. Then I can either make another one or copy it or mirror it or whatever. It's probably just quicker for me to make another one. 19 tab 42, enter. Now that's in the wrong spot, so I'm going to use my constraints to align that line with the bottom here. So I'm going to click on that line, and I'm going to go collinear with that line. So when something's collinear, it's stuck on that line. I can move it backwards and forwards along that line, but I can't go up and down. Okay, just backwards and forwards because it's collinear. So that's constrained that way, but I can still move it that way. I need to constrain it this way. I could put in a dimension like that one, but I think it's a little bit nicer to make that line collinear with that line. That way, if I want to change that to say 25, for instance, they both move. If I delete that completely and I move that, then they both move because they're collinear. Cool. I'll just put that dimension back in. Oops. 21. Great. And finish the sketch. Alrighty. Now let's extrude both of those. So we need to select that whole rectangle. We can see when I mouse over or when I click, it only selects part of the rectangle. I need to make sure that I'm selecting everything that I want to extrude. There we go. Now it's all selected. The distance that I'm going to extrude is not a distance, it's going to be to an object. And the object, see, it wants me to select the object. The object is the inside of that leg. See that plane in there. And instead of joining, I want to make that a new body. And that's it. That's okay. There we have it. All right. Next bit, we're going to start building our draw runners. So create a sketch on that plane and create a rectangle. So again, mouse over there until it snaps to that line. Good. Now let's just dimension this stuff. Between there and there, I could have done it before. That's 19. And this dimension needs to be that dimension. If you've snapped it to this line, then it'll be constrained, but otherwise it needs to be 52. All right. What I haven't dimensioned is where this rectangle is along that plane. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to dimension between there and the inside of that piece of wood there. Okay. And that dimension is a bit of a formula. And I'm just going to tell you the formula, and we'll probably, I'm not going to go into why it is, but it's kind of neat. Okay, the formula is this: open brackets, and then type in back rail minus draw width minus 2. Now 2, if you want to know, is because we want a 1mm gap on either side of the draw. Close parenthesis, and then divided by 2. There it is. Okay. Finish that sketch and extrude that all the way to an object, and that is the object, and it's got to be a new body. Okay, good. Okay, next we're going to build another little bit of the draw runner, and we're going to create a new sketch on that surface there, the inside of the top rail. Now I can't see it very well, so I'm just going to go up the top here, right click, opacity control, and I'm going to make it 90. Does that work? No, I'll go here. Right click, opacity control, 90. There we go. All right, so I'm going to create a rectangle. Remember, this is on that side, so I'm going to go from that point up. So it's going to be 19 tab 42, just like that. Excellent. And I'll just do it again down here, 19 tab 42. All right, so I just built that rectangle and that rectangle. Finish my sketch. There they are. I'm going to extrude that and that. Let me just make sure that I've got all of the bottom one. Yep, good. And how far am I going? Well, not distant. I'm going to go to object again. And the object is that. And we're not going to join. We're going to go a new body. Okay. So now, the fact that it's 90% opacity gets in my way a little bit, makes it a bit confusing. I'm going to right click table and go opacity control and make it 100%. All right. And I just make sure that I did it here as well. Yep. All right. So looking pretty good. I'm going to mirror these onto that side. So I've got two. So I'm going to go create mirror bodies, select the bodies, that one and that one and that one. And the mirror plane again is that vertical one. That's what I should be getting. Okay, fantastic.